everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be doing a comparison between two cream bronzers that I have that I've never tried. The first one is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Bronzer, and the other one is the Nars Sunkissed Bronzing Cream. So I have the shade 2 Laguna in this one, and I have the shade Amber in this one. So we are going to be applying it to each side of my face. Let me know in the comments now which one you think is on which side. So this is the finished look. I'll be inserting in some swatches, just comparing these two bronzers to other bronzers that I have in my collection, just in case you're curious as far as shade range. And then we'll just be going over some final thoughts. So first off, I have two disclaimers. First one is my dog won't stop barking. She's driving me up a wall. I'm just kidding, she's not. I can be a pretty patient person. I did try to cut out as much footage of her barking as possible, but if you hear it in the background, I apologize. The second disclaimer is a little bit more serious. This is the first video that I'm filming since in America, the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade. I did just want to mention that really quickly as far as my stance. And I'm not gonna, talk about this for 5 minutes, but I do just think that it's important. People come here for fun. They come on YouTube to get away from the world. And there's a place for that. That's important. However, as just a person, as a woman, I find that it's important to not stay silent when it comes to your opinion. And I just want to make it very clear that I stand with all women in America. I am American. I don't currently live in America, and this is part of the reason. However, silence only benefits the oppressor, and I want to make sure that my voice is known and my opinions known. If that's not something that you agree with, feel free to not watch this video. I think that it's important to make that known, and it's important that we amplify our voices against those who are trying to take away rights for people who are able to get pregnant. So with all that being said, we're gonna hop back into makeup. That's all I wanted to say. And with that, let's just talk about these cream bronzers a little bit more, shall we? So before we go into me applying these bronzers to my face, I did just kind of want to talk about the differences between the two. I will be, again, inserting in some swatches of all of these, but let's just do a quick hand swatch right now. So again, I have the shade Amber in the ABH, and I have the shade 2 Laguna in the Nars. So here is, let me put this down. So here is the Anastasia one, and then here is the Nars one. Clearly, like you can see, both of these shades that I got, they both claim to be a light to medium with neutral undertones. And I wonder if I mix these up. It kind of turns out a little bit more red. Here's what they looked mixed. That was a fun just experiment. I wouldn't say either of those are neutral undertone. In my opinion, I'm not like a color expert. I would consider the Amber one to be very warm, and the Nars I would say is the most neutral, but still leaning on cool. That's just my opinion. That's what I'm seeing. I wear glasses, visually impaired, so don't take my word as gospel, but that's what I'm seeing for both of these, even though the shade description did say light to medium with neutral undertone. As far as price point, so the Nars is $38, where the Anastasia is $35. So this is a little bit less expensive. However, the Nars has more product. It has 19 grams versus the Anastasia at 12 grams. I'm not gonna do price per gram. Do the math yourself if you're interested. But if I had to guess, you're probably getting a little bit more bang for your buck with the Nars. I don't think it makes that much of a difference where to save the $3, you're gonna care. But if you do, that's the information on those. Now, another thing that's important to note is that the Anastasia comes in 10 shades, whereas the Nars one comes in 5. So this has double the shade range as the Nars. As far as inclusivity, I can't speak on that because, you know, I only have one skin tone. I can't say. Maybe Nars has a great range with just their 5, and maybe Anastasia doesn't have a great shade range with their 10. I don't know, I can't speak on that. I do think that Anastasia originally came out with 7 shades because when I looked at her website today, 3 of those shades said new. It does look like the shade range is decent, and to be quite honest, Nars doesn't have the greatest track record when it comes with shade inclusivity. So I would probably guess that the Anastasia shade range is better, double the shade range. I'm pretty impressed to see 10. I think that that's really a great step in the right direction. As far as the claims, let's see. The Nars claims that it's easy to blend, long lasting, and it has a natural finish. The Anastasia says that it's weightless, buildable, and it has a natural matte finish. So we're gonna check out the claims on both of those. They sound like they're pretty similar just as far as their claims. They look similar. That's kind of why I wanted to do this video, because I was curious. The containers looked similar. I just want to know which one's better. So I thought it would be fun if I was going to compare them. I might as well do a video on it. So now that you have the information on both of these bronzers as far as shade, weight, price, what their claims are, we're going to go into the footage of me applying these cream bronzers to each side of my face. You can tell me if you are correct on which side you think is on. So let's get into that. Okay, I have you zoomed in close to my face. We are going to compare these two bronzers now. I have applied foundation. I did do concealer. I did my brows and like a little bit of powder just under my eyes because I was not about to let the concealer just sit there and crease. So we did do that, but that is all I have on my face. Let's get to putting this on. Typically, I use a beauty sponge when applying my cream products, but I think that I want to take a chance because who would I be if I didn't? And use this Sonia G Jumbo Base Brush. It looks like this. I kind of just want to see how that works. If we need to go in with the beauty sponge, we will. This is not set in stone. Let's just get started. So I think we're gonna do Anastasia on this side and Nars on this side. Again, so here's, I'm opening this for the first time. Here's what the Anastasia one looks like. I have the shade Amber. And then the Nars, I have the shade 2, which was the original one. So here they are side by side. After the application portion, I'll be showing some swatches of these two compared side by side, and then any other just cream bronzers that I have. So just off the top of my head, I have the Chanel one, I have the Charlotte Tilbury one, I have a Tarte one. We'll just see what we have and do some swatches. Let's start with the Anastasia one. So I'm just gonna dip my brush in it. It's not clearly very emollient. It's not, you know, really just sinking in there. Probably just put way too much, but let's get started. I'm just gonna lightly tap. Okay. I want to just kind of place this in the areas that I want, and then we'll focus on blending this out just so I can get it, all the product off my brush before we go in and blend. Okay, so we're looking a little bit better. Here's what it's looking like so far. I think I want to put just a little bit more on my jawline. And just see, kind of blend down. This brush does pretty good with the contour cream. Well, I guess it's a bronzing cream. I just associate creams with contour. I do like it though. It's blending really nicely. So here we have the ABH side. Again, this is the shade Amber. It always just on camera, I'm gonna be honest, like looks a lot harsher than it does in person. Once I have the rest of my makeup on, it tends to kind of settle down. It's just something I noticed. I think that the camera just really picks up on the color because it does not look this harsh at all. Sometimes when I rewatch the footage, I'm like, I don't even know what I was talking about. It's just in the monitor. I don't know. I'm not a very tech savvy person. Okay. I like this more than I was expecting. Let's go to the Nars side. I'm gonna clean off my brush and I will be right back. All right, so my brush is clean. I'm gonna kind of do the same thing. Off the bat, this one just seems a little bit more emollient. Yeah, and it feels like more emollient too. So let's see. I'm a little bit more nervous with this one because it just looks darker in the pan. Let's just go in. Ooh, it looks darker on the face too. Hopefully these don't look too off. All right, let's just start blending. It's blending pretty easily. Again, on camera, like it just looks, all I see is like this stripe. Okay, so far this is actually blending pretty easily. I mean, I just mentioned this on the ABH side. For some reason, all I see is like this huge stripe in the monitor, yet in my mirror, it doesn't look like that. I don't know if it's my eyesight, if it's the lights, what it is. But in person, it looks really beautiful. So far, I think I like the Nars one more. It's just a teeny tiny bit more cool toned, but maybe it's just the way my lights are. I'm still learning. I'm gonna go over it with my sponge, just kind of tap it down on both sides, up over my forehead. Here's the Nars side. It does look better. I'm gonna put my glasses on. Let's see if that changes anything. So in the mirror, like it almost looks like it's not even there. Like I've just blended it into nothing, but on camera, it just looks so much starker. I just always get nervous. It does look really nice. Off the bat, I think I just prefer the Nars side. It's just a little bit more cool toned. So it's more just the shade that I prefer. Maybe the Anastasia one has another shade that would be better suited for me. It's just a lot more warm. I find it less neutral than the Nars, but both these blended really nice. This is a tough call. Well, now that I've applied both sides to my face, I'm going to apply the rest of my makeup off of camera. While I'm doing that, you're going to be seeing some swatches. So I'm going to insert some swatches in right after this clip, and then I will see you all in my final thoughts. Okay, rest of my makeup is on. If you're curious about anything that I'm ever wearing on my face at any time, it's always listed down in the description box below. Let's go over both of these. So, you know, I actually found them more similar than I was expecting. The only difference is, I would say, in the shade. And that's hard to say because Anastasia does have 10 shades, which is That's pretty impressive for a cream bronzer. I will give that to them. I can't speak on the shade range and how inclusive that is, but I can say that 10 shades I think is a decent shade range. I have a feeling I could probably find one that's more similar to this Nars one. So it's hard for me to say that I don't like the Anastasia one because right now they both blended really great. This one's just a little bit more warm toned for my preference, and that's like my only con to it. I did try to keep everything really light, just bronzy vibes. I didn't really do too much with my eyeshadow. I really just wanted to let the bronzer kind of take over. And there's not much more I can say without just repeating myself over and over. I like that the Laguna just kind of gives me more of a shadow. I am gonna be honest, I don't think I've ever used the Laguna bronzer. So if I have, I don't remember. I know that it's like a cult classic Nars product, but I don't think I've ever purchased it or used it. So this is really my first time getting a feel for the shade, and I can understand why it's so popular. As far as blendability, I'd probably say the Anastasia one did blend a little bit better. The Nars one you saw, like it went on very pigmented. It did blend out, but just by like a teeny tiny hair. The Anastasia one was just easier. I would be curious to see if I went back over it with my beauty sponge and I applied it that way, which one I would prefer then. But I wish I had more answers. Sorry that this isn't just a yes and no. These are really neck and neck. I think I'm gonna maybe just give these a little bit more love, spend some more time kind of really getting to know the formula, and then I can do like a wrap-up video later on, just comparing products that I've tried recently. This one's tough. I think that if I had to recommend this to a friend, I would probably recommend the Nars one. As I said, that's just my preference. However, if they needed something that just had more shades, this would be the clear winner. It's a couple dollars less expensive. I think that this is a solid product. I wish I had tried this Anastasia one sooner. I probably, let's see, but I might pick up another shade in this just to give it more of a chance and see if there's a shade I prefer over this. But that's really what I'm gonna say about both of these. Hopefully the swatches were helpful for you watching me apply it to my face and blend it out in real time. Hopefully that was helpful for you. I wish I had a more polarizing opinion, but I really don't. Based off of first impressions, I like them both, and it's really gonna just depend on what you're looking for in a cream bronzer. I think that they both blend fairly easily. They're both lightweight. I didn't really test building them up. I didn't need to. This one definitely looks a lot lighter, the Anastasia side. Let me know in the comments if you have one of these, if you have both of these, which one you like better. I would love to hear just your opinion on these products, especially if you've used it more than once, because again, this is a first impression, so I'm not really just sure where I stand on these. We'll have to see also how they just wear throughout the day, how much they fade, because that could be a huge factor in just which one is better. If I can remember, I will leave a pinned comment down below just on wear times, but I would love to hear your opinions. That's where I'm gonna end this video. There's nothing really left for me to say. I hope you all are doing fantastic, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.